Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. See my title below. Yes, this is on episode 8 and episode 9 of Saekano season 2. And yes, I am back. I know it's been like a whole week already, and if you've been wondering where the hell has any of my videos been for the past week, that probably means you didn't see my Facebook or Twitter posts, or you didn't watch my vlog, because in those I actually stated that for a whole week, which was that week that I haven't made any videos last week, I was going to be on a family vacation, and that is why, of course, I did not make any of those videos. And I also stated in those videos that I would be doing the same thing that I did for what I did in the winter time, where I went on vacation for a week and end up doing a double episode reviews, which is why if you've been looking at my channel and been wondering why, for like example, Suka, Boruto, and Shokugeki no Soma, they've all been double episode or double chapter for Shokugeki no Soma. That is the reason why, and that's also the reason why this is a double episode review as well, because I still want, of course, to watch those episodes, and I still want to give my opinions and thoughts on the previous week's episode. But I do understand if you do not want to, if you're one of the, you want to see what happened, my opinion and thoughts on the current week, not last week. Last week was, of course, in the past, and you don't really care as much about that anymore. If that is how you feel, do not worry, I understand. In the description below, there's actually a little time link that you can click on, and it'll skip straight to my episode 9 review. So don't feel bad about it if you want to do that. I completely understand, and yeah, feel free to go ahead and do that. Before you go ahead and click that, I just want to, I guess you can go, because this is just more about the format of how this works if you are going to be watching the episode 8 review as well, because the difference for that is normally, like how I did for in the winter, I just completely watched both the episodes that I missed and the episode for that current week and made just one huge take for my reviews. And by doing that, it kind of spoils myself for the previous week's episode when I'm making the review, and you don't really get my full on how I felt about this that week, because I kind of already knew certain things happening in the next week which may have changed my opinion of that certain subject, which is why for this one I'm going to be doing for pretty much every single one of the animes I'm doing. I'm going to be watching for this one episode 8, make my review, watch episode 9, make my review, and then put them together so that my episode 8 review will not, I won't be spoiled by anything that happened in episode 9, and that won't change any opinions that may be affected because of something that happens in the next episode. So yeah, just wanted to, of course, clarify that to you. So if you want to skip to episode 9 now, feel free to do that. If you want to continue on, then thank you for that. Just wanted to, of course, clarify and explain everything. So yeah, let's get on to how I felt about episode 8 of Saekano season 2, because honestly, I gotta say that this episode was probably the best episode of the season, and considering there was no Utaha in it at all, and as you guys know, Utaha is my favorite girl. Well, it's really hard for me to say, and I'm honestly going all over. It's like, ooh, like each way, like every moment's like, I love Utaha, I love her character, her personality, but like things like this, like Megumi literally always steals the show. Even when it was episodes focused on Utaha, episode focused on Edidi, she somehow managed to steal the show, steal the episode somehow, and just like, oh my gosh, that is why she is, like, honestly, it's so hard for me to say that Utaha is the best girl, because literally Megumi is just making such a strong running, literally, honestly, in my opinion, for the best girl of the year, especially with this episode, considering, like, honestly, the way they kind of just showed her in this episode. Literally, when an episode is focused on her, they really know how to just make, like, it's crazy, because when you think about it, when you first see this, watch the show, you have all the other girls, you see their personalities and everything, and you see Megumi, and she's kind of just this plain, boring girl, and that's why the show is called How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend, and that's why even the game is called that, and how she kind of gets mad. It was kind of funny that he named it that, but that's why at first it's crazy, because you think, when you see her character, you're not gonna love her as much as you do. But honestly, that's just what makes it so much crazier, is that she started off like that, and you see just a plain girl, and she manages just to steal the hearts of everyone in all these episodes, especially in this episode when you see just kind of a plain boring girl, and then in this episode you see just so much emotions running from her, like literally all these different reactions, all these different emotions, and I was like, Oh my gosh, I am in love with Megumi. It's like, oh, I love Uta, but Megumi as well. You know, like literally Megumi just like in this episode alone just stated her claim as like one of the top best girls of the year. Period. I'm not gonna, go back on that. That's literally what I think. And honestly, it's crazy. Honestly, it's just this episode was that good, and her character with this episode it was just like, holy crap, I cannot believe how much I enjoyed that episode and how fast that episode actually felt. Like it went, like honestly when it ended I was like, what, it's the end of the episode already? That's how much I was enjoying it, honestly. Like literally I'll admit at the beginning I was about to punch Tomoya. I was about to be so pissed at him when he was like, just talking about this game and he was not clearly apologizing to her, and she was just like over there like about ready to leave, and I was just like, oh my gosh, Tomoya, please get your shit together and apologize correctly. When he finally does, and you see the emotions coming out of her when she's tearing up, when she's telling him that how hard it's been for her to stay away from them and avoid them, when she really does love everything that they did, but obviously he didn't see all of that. He didn't go up to her, he didn't call her when she thought it was like all of that was, he didn't feel the same way, and obviously that really affected her. And literally when he finally apologizes, it was like finally the waterworks just broke out with her tearing up. I was starting to tear up. I was like, the feels are here, guys, the feels are here. And Megumi, literally, I just loved her character. I loved her throughout this episode, seeing all the different emotions and like how she reacted to Tomoya throughout this episode. Like literally the second half of the episode, it was kind of like they were honestly like a married couple, and it was so cute to see that all the different reactions between them. Honestly, I just like literally wanted to see more of this episode. That's all I gotta say. Like, please just extend the episode to an hour or something, because that's how awesome of an episode it was, honestly. Because literally just seeing all of that, seeing her getting all mad when she was in the bath as well, and thank you for that fan service with her in the bath, plus also some little looking in the shirt when she's like on the bed kind of things. Like, yeah, thank you for that, guys. But literally, like, even in the episode, they're clearly stating when she's like, that Tomoya is stating that she pretty much acted completely different from how she normally does. She was completely all over the place, honestly, and she was like, yeah, after this day, please forget that all of that happened. And he was like, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm like full on all aboard. I would be like, yeah, there's no way I would forget about this. It's so crazy because it's like she was like a whole total different character, yet still the same character. And that's why like they did such a great job with this episode, honestly, in my opinion. In contrast from how the episode was in the last episode was, and how it was so hard to watch, honestly, with seeing him be Tomoya be so stupid, and seeing Megumi avoiding him throughout everything, and then finally in this episode everything is getting back on track. It's all good. Plus we get to see all those emotions from her, all those different like kind of reactions that she was getting throughout the thing, all her different like the way she was talking throughout the episode. It's like it was great to have her back, honestly, and I absolutely love this episode. Almost forgot to mention too that very beginning part when it was pretty funny, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, because when Tomoya is like, when they're in the AV room and he's walking up to her and she thinks she's gonna do something, I'm over here like, wow, Megumi, what did you think he was gonna do? And she's like, I should have known. Like, yeah, you should have known, because this is Tomoya. Maybe if it was some other main character, that would have, that could have been possible. But with Tomoya, that ain't gonna happen, honestly. He's literally just so stupid and idiotic. And that's why from that point on, and, seeing how he wasn't clearly apologizing at first, I was literally so pissed off at the beginning. I thought it was just gonna be another episode with him being a stupid idiot. But luckily, he wasn't. Luckily, he apologized. And luckily, everything went correctly and everything went well. And honestly, I cannot wait to see how the next episode will end up going. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say for this episode. So I'm gonna end this little cut here, and then we'll start off on the episode 9 review. So in 3, 2, 1, and here we are at the episode 9 portion of the review, and holy crap, was this episode, it went completely, honestly, a complete 360 from how the episode was in the, episode 8 was. Because seriously, episode 8, I loved the episode. It went from being like, oh my gosh, I want to punch Tomoya, to, oh my gosh, Megumi is the best girl in the world, to having this episode, which just went like, this is, I'm okay with having, a crazy, drama, intense drama and everything. But one thing I have to agree with a lot of people that have been saying it in the forums as well is that this series, when it does put in drama, it's like super forced and kind of just way over dramatic. Like, I'm all up for it being dramatic and everything. I'm all up for it not just being, a kind of harem, them having fun playing around kind of thing. I'm okay with there being some drama in there. But when it comes to the point where you have characters like Akane at the very end, and she just like full on just like scary yandere moments with, pretty much saying that there are her, Edidi is literally anyone can copy it, it's imitatable, and you have her like like screaming like she's just got like stabbed in the stomach or something, or shot. Like, it was like little too much dramatic. The facial expressions that they had during those moments and just throughout the episode at certain points was there. It was a little too much in my opinion, that it kind of made it a little cringy. I'm not gonna lie, I still love the series, I still love the episode and what it was trying to do with how the drama was going on, but it felt kind of like maybe if we had another episode it wouldn't have been as bad. It felt like it was just forced and thrown in right there, and to make the drama even more, I guess, since they don't have as much episodes and they can't just like build up that drama, instead they just throw the drama in your face right there and say, hey, there's your drama, and it comes off as just overly dramatic, honestly, in my opinion. And that's why, like, I just felt too like, why would they even work for someone like that? I totally agree. I understand what Utaha was saying on the fact that Tomoya, he's too much of a nice guy. He's the kind of guy that wants, that's a good thing as well at certain points, but he's not pushing them. Obviously, with Edidi, you see that she's in a slump because she's not being pushed. When she had a deadline and she was being pushed and she, like, pretty much worked herself to, gain sick, that's when her her best work came out. I was about to say burst for some reason, like mixing best and work together. But yeah, that's when her best work ended up coming out, because she was being pushed for once, instead of before it was like, oh, okay, you can have more time. Sure, you can have more time. And it's the same way with Utahan, in the fact that he kind of says that she doesn't need to really do it like that much. And when he was asking her to work for her, he would even be like, oh, you don't have to try that much. You're going to do a little bit here, a little bit there. It's not really like giving her a project that, is really that you would, like, I understand the thing, you would die for this project because it's that good, it's that amazing that it would persuade you to literally try your very hardest, honestly, to finish this project. And I totally understand that. If Akane wasn't a crazy psycho yandere that we saw at the very end, I would agree. Her work has, pretty much shown for themselves why she's that good and everything. And this is a huge, game that's going to be coming out, so I totally would understand why they would want to go ahead and join for that, the better opportunity and the way to push themselves. But there's no way in the real world, in my opinion, I feel that anyone would take a project working under someone like that. She's just honestly mentally abusive. You don't have to be physically abusive for it to be bad. If like someone like her, she's literally destroying Edidi. I don't know how the hell, I guess, just that is just how Edidi's character is, in that she will fold under these kind of circumstances. And seeing that someone could just draw the same way as her, like her work is imitatable and it's easy to do, obviously, like she was able to do it, that of course pushed her and said, I guess I have to do this to get better and everything. And obviously, working with Tomoya is not working out. And I totally, would understand that if she wasn't as the way it was her pretty much being abused, mentally. Like, holy crap, that was a little too much, I have to say, honestly. But another thing is, they didn't even tell him. This was a month later that Utaha decided to tell him that they decided to go ahead and work with Akane, which doesn't make sense. This is another thing that kind of relates to the last episode, and the fact that it was pretty crazy as well. This episode had no Megumi in it. That was honestly surprising, because usually they always somehow figure a way to throw her in and steal the show. But this one, they decided not to do that, and instead, you know for a fact the next episode, considering how she's all about, like, she doesn't want people keeping big secrets like this from each other, and to tell everyone everything, and that's why she was mad at Tomoya. She's probably going to be super pissed at finding out that Utaha and Eddie D kept this a secret for this long. They already knew that Tomoya was trying to, he had this proposal and wanted to make this, game for quite a while. You saw before they went into the meeting with Akane that pretty much Eddie D was all like, she was going. She said she was going because she didn't want Utaha to be, lured, and for Tomoya to lose his, rider and everything. If that's so, and they already knew that, why wouldn't they at least tell him? Instead, you have this moment where he's in complete denial, like he could not believe what he was hearing. And honestly, I agree. I would feel the same way. It's for once, it's not Tomoya that's being the dick. It's Utaha and Eddie D, and it doesn't make sense. I love Utaha. That's why it pisses me off, honestly, that this episode, the way they did it, it kind of made it just seem like she didn't care about Tomoya really. And in the end, I get the whole part of, like I said, her striving to be better and being pushed and everything, and she wants to work with Eddie D because that pushes her more as well. That's why she left with her. But I feel like you should have at least told Tomoya. It didn't make sense why a month later, when he decides to tell you about his proposal and everything, then you decide to go ahead and do this. She was like, oh, Eddie D didn't tell you? Oh my gosh. So, I guess she assumed that Eddie D would tell him, but come on. Why don't both of you should be going up to him and telling him this, It honestly didn't make sense, and it just felt over dramatic and forced going towards the end. I did enjoy the beginning parts, with him and Utaha, her graduating. It was all nice, her approving of his, game, considering this is what he wanted from the very beginning. Sure, there was some points you can see that when it glossed over the part where, what Megumi's job was and everything, she definitely could see that Megumi, obviously is in the driver's seat. She's the one that's the best girl at the moment for him, it seems like. And, we've already gone over this, that she was pretty much rejected. So was Eddie D, and it was pretty much going to be, Megumi. But, even with that case, I feel that I don't understand why they would not tell him, It was honestly very confusing at that point, and that kind of just ruined it for me. I still like the way, the intensity of it, and I thought it would have been good if they gave it an extra episode, gave us some build up to what this drama, happened. Instead, it just felt super forced and just super out of there. They just threw it in our faces, and the very ending was just pure, just like how it was with Eddie D when she ended up being sick, even though it was just a cold, and she just it was like she was dying or something, when we all knew she wasn't gonna die. It was a cold. Sure, someone needs to get there to help her out, and it could get even worse, but it wasn't to the point where she was about to die right there and they needed to rush as fast as possible kind of thing, And then here too, yes, I get it, Akane is able to write your art and everything as well, but Eddie D screaming at the very end like someone killed her was a little too much as well, and just everyone's reactions and facial expressions was what the hell, over the top, including Akane. If that really is how she is, that's just, I honestly can't see anyone wanting to work with her. She's literally, you come into a meeting and she's drinking, and then you have this moment where she's talking crap about you and saying the only reason she wanted Utaha is because of Eddie D. If she doesn't get Eddie D, she doesn't want Utaha. And then of course, it's just, I cannot believe anyone would want to work with her, honestly. It honestly blows my mind at that point. But overall, that was the episode. That's all I really have to say before I start continuing to just flame about what happened in this one and why didn't Utaha and Eddie, do this? Why would they work with her and everything? We already knew that Akane was pretty much going to be the main villain and, the main antagonist, and I guess they really did have it right here and then, as she's literally is a crazy maniac, But overall, I'm still excited to see what's going to happen. There's only 2 episodes left, so I am kind of scared if this is going to be rushed or not. But overall, it looks like it's going to be good. It's going to be good either way, as long as it, isn't too dramatic like it was in this episode. Like I said, I still enjoyed certain aspects of this episode and still did get me hyped and hyped for what's going to be coming, because I really want to see how Tomoya is going to react to this, how Megumi is going to react to this. What are, Utaha and Edidi going to really do? Is anyone else going to help Tomoya? It's honestly a big mystery on how this is going to work out, and that's why I'm excited if there was more episodes. With 2 episodes only left, it kind of does scare me on how everything is going to be, if it will be rushed or not. But yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. All we can do is really wait to see how the next episode is. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about both episode 8 and episode 9? Good, bad, anything you agree with me, anything you disagree with me. I always want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. So feel free to comment, down below, both Anime Watchers Only and source material. I definitely want to hear how the source material, readers, how they feel about this episode. Was it done right? Was it a lot of things taken out? Was a lot of it rushed or anything? Feel free to comment below. I want to see how it was in the source material as well, because it kind of feels honestly over dramatic in a lot of the points and a little rushed, honestly, and forced. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Till next time, see ya.